Starting with the first game here in the afternoon, which was the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Edmonton plus 115. I was breaking down the game. I'm wondering why the stream hasn't gone live yet on my. I don't know why it says it hasn't gone live, but now it looks like we're live. Okay, so for some reason, I don't know, maybe it didn't notify people. Maybe YouTube's having an issue here to start the day, but looks like we're good now. Marchand anytime goal plus 165. Unfortunately, loser there. He did get an assist, but it looks like Marchand's goal streak has come to an end. I was on Florida in regulation here in this game, and Edmonton was the more motivated team. They came out here and they got the job done, winning this game. San Jose Sharks, unfortunately, was a loser here, plus 135. Close, but lost the game there close to the end of the third period. And I mentioned Will Smith on the show yesterday, and he scored the first goal. I was so frustrated with myself that I didn't take it, but then the goalie challenge had it taken away. I believe he did get an assist there later on, but glad I stayed off the goal prop because he didn't end up scoring. One of the money makers on this show for 3 to 4 shows now, Jacob Tricken over half a point, ended up getting plus 104 at FanDuel for this yesterday. Scored another goal. So while people might be taking his assist prop, I believe he did get an assist too later on, but he's scoring right now. So if his point prop is plus money, maybe don't mess around with the goal or the assist. Just go with the point prop because he can do either or right now. Chychrun heavily involved in the offense. And final play on the show, Jason Robertson. What can be said about Jason Robertson? I was shocked, and I said this on yesterday's show, I was shocked that this was plus 140 for him to score here. And I told you guys my favorite play of the day was this one. If there was one bet that you should tail me on yesterday's slate, it was this one. And didn't look good. Dallas wasn't able to score for a long portion of the game. But in the third period, Jason Robertson does what Jason Robertson does, scores a nice goal, cashes the ticket for us. Dallas ended up tying up the game. I had Dallas Stars in regulation, the 5-on-3 to finish off the game, but were unable to score on the 5-on-3. And I did post on X, and I stand by my comments, a pathetic 5-on-3 by the Dallas Stars. They had all the momentum there. They really should have got that, but didn't, and ended up losing the game with Calgary winning in the shootout. So overall, winning day on the show yesterday, small 1.74 unit losing day. So a losing day for me yesterday overall, but with compared to how some Saturdays have been lately, I'll take that. I will take that. But we'll jump into the chat here. Terry, I smashed the like. Thank you, Richie. You always do. Always do. Johansson point price is ridiculous. I haven't looked at it, but I'm not surprised that you have, Richie. Ekman, anytime. Ekman Larson, anytime goal cashed. Yes, I mentioned him as a point. I continued his point streak. If there's one Toronto Maple Leaf playing really well right now, it's Ekman Larson, for sure. Chychrun, goal and an assist. Yeah, I thought so. The guy is just, wow. What can you say? How about them Oilers, my guy? I figured I'd see you, Mr. Dave. Yeah, hey, good win. We were against each other there. I had Panthers and Reg. You had the Oilers. And, yeah, the Oilers decided to show up for a game for once. We'll see if they continue to do that heading into their next game. I'm not so sure. Obviously, yeah, it was a motivating factor, but Edmonton's still a fade team for me right now. Of course, we lose to Calgary. Logan Cooley is annoying. Or not Logan Cooley. Oh, I'm sorry to Logan Cooley. Devin Cooley is annoying. I'm sorry, Logan Cooley. Lucky to snag a point, though. Yes, the Stars were very lucky to get that point because they really didn't deserve it. Maybe they did, but it is what it is. But we're going to move on to the Sunday slate now and start with the first game, which is the Carolina Hurricanes and the Buffalo Sabres. The Canes, minus 200, home favorites. The Sabres, plus 165, home dogs. Total of 6.5 here in this game. Goalies here, no one yet confirmed. For Carolina, who knows? Because they're riding with 3 goalies right now. I am shocked that Pyotr Kochetkov did not get the start in either of their last 2 games, their loss against the Wild and their win against Winnipeg. Kochetkov 4-0-0, 1.69 goals against average, 926 save percentage with a shutout. He should be starting more games than the other 2 guys. That's my opinion, but Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, unconfirmed, 2-2-1, 3.01 goals against average, 880 save percentage here in this game. This is interesting because we do have heavy past history stats here with this one between these 2 teams. The home team is 12-1 in the last 13 games between these 2 teams. So when Buffalo goes to Carolina, Carolina wins. When Carolina goes to Buffalo, Buffalo wins. Buffalo has won 3 of their last 4 games, 5-4 against Detroit, 5-1 against Edmonton, 6-2 loss to Calgary, and 9-3 against Chicago. So the Sabres offense is getting going right now. Carolina alternating wins and losses. Their 2 losses in their last 5 were overtime losses. So Carolina is playing good hockey. Won for me in the last game. When it comes to the side here, I can't get involved. First of all, I need to know who's in net for Carolina, but even if it is Kochetkov, the way the Sabres offense is going right now, with the fact that the home team's 12-1 in the last 13 between these 2 teams, I can't take Carolina, but I don't want to take Buffalo either. Yes, they won 3 of 4. Yes, they're scoring goals, but I don't exactly trust them still. So, looking at this game from player prop perspective, I should have been on Tage Thompson his last game. I should have. He's now scored in 5 games in a row, 6 of his last 7. I'm seeing plus 155 at FanDuel for Thompson to score. Definitely should be something I should be on. And if we see that, and we probably won't find out till right close to the game, so I probably won't end up adding it. But if for some reason it isn't Kochetkov and it's shouldn't be Bussy, but maybe it's Anderson, then I would take Thompson anytime goal for sure, because Anderson has not been as good as Kochetkov has this year. But having said that, Thompson on a hot goal streak right now. Point props with value, Bowen Byram, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 186 to get a point in this one. Jason Zucker, back-to-back games with a point, plus 117. Nikolai Ehlers is on a point streak, 9 of his last 10, but minus 155. There's not really much value there. No power play point streaks. Rasmus Dahlin has an assist in 4 games in a row, minus 110. Nikolai Ehlers an assist in back-to-back games, plus 137. Jason Zucker, back-to-back games with an assist, plus 224 here in the first game of the day. Let's see what the chat thinks here in this one. Let's see if my computer will let me go. There we go. Today is Landeskog's birthday. Okay, interesting. I'll take it, Hal, as you should. I feel like Buffalo is much better team on home ice. Yeah, I can agree with that. It is line today for Buffalo. Oh, has there been? Oh, still not announced on daily face-off, but all right, maybe it's line. Canes have rotated all 3 goalies over the last 14 games. Lines up for Kochetkov. That makes sense, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. You don't need to rotate 3 goalies unless you absolutely have to. And I don't really think they have to here. Liking Dylan's value at being on the top line. Yeah, he's been hot the last few games, that's for sure. I didn't mention him, but let's see here. 2 points in his last game against Chicago. So a good game there. A few games before that, not much. So that's why I didn't mention him here. It was announced on Friday. Was it? That Lion is starting? Well, Daily Faceoff is not. They have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen unconfirmed. So, okay. But we will continue on along with our next game, which is the Minnesota Wild and the Winnipeg Jets. The Wild plus 110, road dogs. The Jets minus 130, home favorites. Total 6 here in this game. Let's see here. Refresh. Still no goalies for this one either. Jesper Wallstedt, unconfirmed for the Wild, 5-0-2, 2.2 goals against average, 926 save percentage, 2 shutouts. He has been fantastic for the Wild, especially recently. Eric Comrie, unconfirmed. I would assume it would be him now with Hellebuck out. The Jets do have a back-to-back coming up here at the end of the month, so we should see their third goaltender, who I don't even know who it is, I'll be honest, playing here in this one. Comrie, 4-2, 2.84 goals against average, 899 save percentage. If it's Wallstedt against Comrie, the Wild have a huge goalie advantage with how Wallstedt's played. Past history between these teams, very one-sided. The Jets, 9-0 in the last 9 between these teams. 3 of the last 4 have gone under 5.5. 2 of the last 4 have gone to overtime. Don't be surprised if we have a very close, low-scoring game. I think it kind of goes the same way as past history. But, yes, the Wild have lost 9 in a row, and I did bet Winnipeg when these two teams faced each other earlier on in the year. But this is a different situation now. The Wild have been 8-1-1 in their last 10. They're playing really good hockey right now. So if there's ever going to be a time for the Wild to maybe end their losing streak to Winnipeg, I think it could be this one against Eric Comrie and a Jets team here. Now, let me see here. I did want to quickly check. Okay, it looks like everything's fine with him. Well, something to keep an eye on. Mark Scheifele did miss the last practice for the Jets. So if for some reason he doesn't play, that is, again, a huge advantage for the Wild. But you guys know what's coming here. Give me Matt Goldie. Anytime goal, plus 160 here in this game. He's a streaky guy, and exactly what I love when betting goal props. You want a guy who's going to be able to get goals in back-to-back games. And Matt Goldie has scored in 5 of his last 6 games for the Wild. 2 goals in the last game against Pittsburgh. Hadn't had much success against Pittsburgh. He did obviously score against them in the last game. Hasn't had much success against Winnipeg, but as I said, he's hot right now, Matt Boldy, and won't have to face Hellebuck in this game. So Boldy, with how hot he's been, we will take him here at plus 160 here in this game over on FanDuel. Taking a look at some other players that are on streaks here in this game. Let's see. Obviously, Boldy 6 games in a row at the point. Josh Morrissey for Winnipeg. If you're looking for somebody for Winnipeg, he's on a 7-game point streak, 9 of his last 10, but minus 150. No value there. Marcus Johansson, who Richie was talking about, a point in 8 of his last 10 games, plus 144. Definitely value there. Plays with Boldy. So, obviously, if Boldy's having success and it's not in the power play, if it's 5-on-5, then Marcus Johansson is likely being involved with that. Other than Boldy, when it comes to goal streaks, Josh Morrissey has scored in back-to-back games. Usually much more of an assist guy, but plus 500 for him, having scored in back-to-back games. And then assists, Kyle Connor has an assist in 3 games in a row, minus 120. If I was playing another player prop in this game, it would be Matt Zuccarello to get an assist. 3 games in a row, 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10. Zuccarello plus 126. DraftKings to get an assist. I do like that. Especially if it's on the power play. Zuccarello to Boldy could definitely happen on the power play. Zuccarello can score goals, but he is a playmaker through and through. That's what he's best at, is dishing the puck to guys in great spots, which he does on a nightly basis for the Wild. But we will go back to the chat. You should talk to Brenda more about your displeasure of the goalie rotation. Yeah, he would probably tell me to F off, most likely. Obviously, not being a Canes fan, there's no worries about pissing me off, so he'd probably tell me to F off. But yeah, I should. Rotating 3 goalies because they and everyone else know Freddie Anderson is going on IR eventually. That's true. And maybe, yeah, that's true. Hal, I'm on that Doan. Doan, point, and goal. Like it, Richie. Goalie post had it with the goalies. Okay. Let's fucking go, Richie. I laid my 50% boost on Tuck and Doan point combo. Very nice. Adrenaline Junkie Dave, I'm just going to call you Dave, likes the Wild here in this one. Brickwalk Wally versus Comrie. Sign me up. If that's the case, yes, I hope that is the case. Hellebuck, 30 starts versus the Wild, and Comrie has 1 start. 0-1, 4.945 goals against average. Yeah, it's usually Hellebuck. It is, and I'm honestly glad that it's not for a change. Boldy has never faced Comrie. Not a big surprise there, but he gets 2 today. Splitting a unit on Faber, Johansson, anytime goal and point. Okay. Faber's been heating up, Richie, so I like that. And yes, of course, Jonathan Davis is on us here. West Coast Hockey. Boldy has scored the Wild's first road goal in 4 of the last 5 road games, plus 500 for first away goal. So first Wild goal would be Boldy. Not the first goal of the game, right? Yeah, not the first goal. So plus 500 for the first away goal score. So if Winnipeg scores first, which usually it is the Wild, and then Boldy was to score first for the Wild, you would win that play. And the first overall goal 7 times. Yeah, he's been great. And like I always say, when you're on a goal scoring prop and they score the first goal of the game, there's nothing better because then you obviously don't have to sweat the rest of the game. So Wild team total over 2.5, Flames team total under 3.5. Flames have scored 4 or more goals 4 times in 22 games. Interesting. They will be facing the Canucks, though, a team that hasn't really heard of stopping the puck, especially recently. So, and of course, Minnesota first goal. The parlay plays plus 144. All right. Tuck has 3 goals in 4 games versus Kochetkov, plus 290. Okay. Interesting. I like that. But we'll continue on along with our next game, which is the Seattle Kraken and the New York Islanders. The Kraken, plus 145, road dogs. The Islanders, minus 170, home favorites. A total of 6 here in this one. Bear with me for a second. David Riddick confirmed for the Islanders. 5-2 with a 2.99 goals against average, 895 save percentage. Should be Joey Decord here. 7-3-3, 2.78 goals against average, 899 save percentage here in this game. Both of these teams on the second night of a back-to-back. This is the Kraken coming off a 3-2 overtime win against the Penguins. Yesterday, I was on Kraken Moneyline, one of my premium plays on the site yesterday. So I was really happy to see the Kraken were getting dominated in overtime. And I'm thinking to myself, Pittsburgh is definitely winning this game any moment now. Pittsburgh's probably going to win this game. But the Kraken got a nice play, ended up winning 3-2. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. The Islanders, coming off a 2-1 loss to the Blues in their last game, 12-8-2 in the season, 4-4-1 at home. The Islanders just have not played as well at home as they have on the road. And they've lost 3 home games in a row, this Islanders team. Give me Kraken, money line, plus 145. I think there's a lot of value here with the Kraken at this price, the way they're playing right now. Plus 145. I think the odds should be much closer here in this game than they are. Seattle, 6-2 all time against the Islanders, 3-1 all time in New York. So the Kraken have had success against the Islanders. 5 of the last 8 meetings under 5.5. Wouldn't shock me to see a lower scoring game here in this one, but I'll take the Kraken. Release the Kraken here in this game at a nice plus dog price in this one. Player props to look at here for Seattle: Mason Marchment, Matty Beniers on that top line, both a point in 4 of their last 5 games. Marchment plus 135, Matty Beniers plus 100. And for value, that's basically it. Brandon Montour, a point in back-to-back games, plus 155. He scored the game winner there in that last game. Goal streaks, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Same with power play points. Assists, Marchment, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 225 here in this game. Again, probably a lower scoring game, but I'll take the Kraken at this big plus price here in this one. Minis scored first in 10 straight, but the Jets have scored first in 9 or 12. Okay, so somebody's streak is continuing, somebody's streak is ending. I like it. Obviously, you guys know I hope it's the Wild that scores first. But final game I'm going to break down, and then we'll get to the remaining 2 games on the slate. Bruins minus 135, Sharks plus 115. A total of 6.5 here in this one. The Sharks coming off the loss to Ottawa yesterday. I was on the Sharks. Obviously, I gave them out here on the show and was hoping they would get the job done, but a 3-2 loss. The Bruins coming off a 2-1 overtime win in LA, which was a couple days ago. So the Bruins a little rested here. 13-10-0 on the season for the Bruins, 5-6 on the road. The Sharks 10-9-3 on the season, 6-4-3 at home. Previous history between these teams, very one-sided, but the Bruins 14-1 in the last 15 games between these teams. San Jose did slay the Dragon, though, in their last game, winning the most recent game between these teams, ending a 14-game losing streak to the Bruins. So a very, very long, and obviously these teams face each other twice per year. So that streak was going back a long time for sure. And now these 2 teams facing off here in this one. I'm not getting involved with a side. I haven't locked in a player prop, but there is one I really like here, and I did want to mention. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these teams under 5.5. So we have seen some lower scoring games between these 2 teams. Let me check on goalies. Nobody yet confirmed. Swayman, unconfirmed. Askarov, unconfirmed. Very, very similar numbers between both goalies. Will Smith, obviously playing his hometown team here in this game, and he did have he's played Boston twice. Bear with me for a second. Played Boston twice, scored in the first game in Boston, didn't score at home against Boston in San Jose, but he has an assist in both games against the Bruins. plus 145 for an assist. That's the way I would go here. If I was pulling the trigger on something I was very close to, but already with 5 NFL plays, 3 hockey overall, I didn't want to jump on this one. So I would lean that way. Will Smith point, minus 132. Wish it was minus 120. I would probably pull the trigger on that. But Celebrini, Will Smith, hot for the Sharks. Morgan Geekie is hot for the Bruins, scoring in back-to-back games. And hasn't had, actually, he scored 2 goals in back-to-back games. So Geekie's heating up. Hasn't scored, though, against the Sharks, though. In his last 6 games, nothing against the Sharks. Assist streaks, Celebrini, back-to-back games, minus 110. Will Smith, 3 games in a row with an assist, plus 149. Like I said, Will Smith assist is the way I would go here in this game. Kraken, okay, yeah. Kraken have lost 14 straight on the back end of back-to-backs. Scored 2 or less in 13 of 14. Okay, so not great, but a good time for that streak to end here as a big road dog. Fingers crossed. Happy Sunday. You too, Kevin. Hope all is well. Askarov brings home the dub. Smith point if there's value. There isn't, but if you want to go Sharks plus 1.5 and Smith point, that would bring it to plus money. If you want to go something like that in this one. Other games on the slate that I did not break down, which is Colorado and Chicago. Colorado 4-2 in the last 6, 8 of the last 9 under 5.5 between these two teams. I could see a low scoring game here. Spencer Knight confirmed for the Hawks. 7-4-3, 2.47 goals against average, 922 save percentage. Scott Wedgwood unconfirmed for Colorado. 12-1-2, 2.23 goals against average, 914 save percentage. In this one, didn't get to anything here. Don't really want to bet against this Avalanche team right now. The Hawks off back-to-back losses. I think we could get a good performance here from the Hawks at home, especially plus 200 home dogs. But ultimately, like I said, the Avalanche are winning games by 3+. So they're not really playing in any close games, taking care of business. They should probably win this game, but not going to get to anything. Tyler Bertuzzi, 6 games in a row with a point, minus 121. Brock Nelson, 5 games in a row with a point. He's plus 100 for a point here, and has a point in 6 of his last 8 against Chicago. So Brock Nelson has had a lot of success against Chicago and is playing very well right now. So Brock Nelson would definitely be a lean here. Frank Nazar, a point 4 games in a row, minus 118. Bertuzzi scored in 4 or 5, plus 240. Bertuzzi has a power play point in 6 games in a row, plus 250. Wow. Frank Nazar assist, 4 games in a row, plus 170. Brock Nelson assist, 4 of his last 5, 3 in a row, plus 190 here in this game. And final one, Calgary and Vancouver. Vancouver 6-1-1 in the last 8 between the two teams. 2-2-1 to a total 6. So no real advantage when it comes to the total. Goalies, no one yet confirmed. There should be Dustin Wolf for Calgary, Kevin Lankinen for the Canucks. If you look at both goalies' numbers, this game screams over. Wolf, 5-11-2, 3.07 goals against average, 892 save percentage. Lankinen, 4-6-2, 3.49 goals against average, 886 save percentage. The Canucks have been an over machine. Total at 6. I would lean that way, especially with Wolf in net. I'm not interested with when Cooley is in net, fading him because he's been a pain in my ass fading Cooley this year. But Wolf in net here, I would lean with the over, but not getting to anything here. Goal streaks. He scored in the last game but then he took that hit from Rantanen. Matt Coronado, 4 games in a row with a goal, plus 260. I would look at him if he is good to go and playing here in this game. Jake DeBrusk didn't score in the last game, but he has been hot recently, plus 200. And then Elias Pettersson has scored in back-to-back games, plus 230. And Joel Farabee has scored in back-to-back games, plus 414, which is an interesting number there. DeBrusk, a power play point in 3 games in a row, 4 of his last 5, plus 275. And Kiefer Sherwood, a power play point 3 games in a row, plus 450. Rasmus Anderson, an assist in 4 games in a row, plus 188. And then Huberdeau, back-to-back games. Kadri, 3 games in a row with an assist, plus 167 for Huberdeau, plus 162 for Kadri. So there's some value with Flames props here. And I do think they put up some goals here in this game. But now we'll go back to the chat. Geeky scored the Bruins' first goal of the game in back-to-back road games and 4 of the last 5 Boston road games. He has scored the Bruins' first goal 7 times this year, plus 130 anytime goal, plus 470 for the Bees' first goal. I like it. I really like Askarov, but I'm running back Geeky anytime goal. First goal, first team goal. What he said. There you go. Addison and West Coast Hockey on the same page. Tyler Bertuzzi is on a Robertson goal run. 9 goals in his last 6 games. Yeah, he's doing so well. Colorado will be a tough test, but Colorado on the second night of a back-to-back. There we go. Ross Colton over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 154, cashed in 3 straight, 7 of 10. I remember last year he was a shots on goal monster. Definitely had some streaks there. Lankinen 3-2, 2.05 goals against average versus the Flames. Okay. So maybe Lankinen has a good game here. But that is today's show. Best luck to everyone on today's slate. Make sure to check out my NFL video, depending on what time you guys are watching this show. Both plays are on the 2 early games, 1 p.m. games. So make sure to check that out. Premium plays on the site. I do have an NFL 5-pack, and I do have 1 NHL play over on Picks and Parlays. Link is in the description below. 3 of the last 4 Flames games on the second half of back-to-back, they've scored 1 goal. All right. I'm staying off the over. But that's today's show. Thank you, guys. Best of luck. Should see you tomorrow. I'm assuming that we have a decent slate somewhat. Yeah, okay. Actually, well, we have quite a few games tomorrow. So we'll see you guys back tomorrow for another episode. Picks on Net, NHL, Picks and Predictions. I am brining a JD, a real nice bottle of whiskey to the Ice Guys Barbecue. Okay. Very nice. Best luck. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys.